Tyler, who has been working here for, is it over a year now?
Yep.
And he's learned a lot about bonsai, so I'm going to get him to do some work as well on these trees. So we've got here some very unusual rare conifers. I managed to get hold of quite a few unusual dwarf conifers from a very specialist nursery. And the one on the left is called, this was the Korean one, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the one called
Albius.
Abies Koreana Silver Show. So it's a Korean fir. Abies is fir. By the way, Abies is a fir and the Picea is a spruce. A lot of people don't know the difference, but both of them belong to the Pinaceae. That means the pine genus or genera. So you see how the foliage is arranged. So fir trees look like this. And this one is called Silver Show because it's got silver undersides to it. So very beautiful little fir. In bonsai, people usually just stick to the conventional types, Scots pine, Japanese black pine, Japanese white pine, and don't try anything else. But there is such a wealth of material that it's worth exploring all the different materials that are available. The only trouble with these rare conifers is that they're usually grafted because people grow them for the very unusual form and the rarity of the plant. So this is grafted. You can see the graft there. You see it's a bulge there because they grafted onto that stalk. I think they graft on ordinary AB stalk, and this one is also grafted, but the stalk is very imperceptible when you move up the trunk. So the graft is very good. The understock and the tree has blended extremely well. So these trees must be at least 15, if not 20 years old. They're very slow growing trees. They only grow like a couple of inches a year. So I think, Tyler, which one do you want to work with?
I wanted to get this green globe.
All right, put the other one to the one side and we talk about the different options that you have for making the tree. So straight away, what strikes you about this tree?
It's got two very heavy kind of trunks.
Trunks, all right. Okay, two heavy trunks. Okay, turn it around and let's look at it from every side.
Yeah.
So,
and a couple of big branches.
Yeah.
In there.
So most people looking at a tree like this, I know exactly what the viewer is having in mind. And if I ask Tyler to speak his mind and get him to think what the options are for making this bonsai.
I think, well, a lot of people would want to get rid of one of the trunks.
Yes.
But I think that's kind of the usual way to go about things. But it also would be quite fun to try and keep both.
Yeah, the single trunk is the easy option, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be easy to just chop one off and then go from there.
Yeah, if you just put the piece of paper, you can see one trunk. Using this as a trunk, single trunk, would make a beautiful formal upright tree. Very beautiful formal upright tree. Dead straight, because this is how conifers grow in nature, isn't it? Dead straight.
Yeah.
But because that would be so samey, nothing unusual. Let's go for something more exciting, don't you think?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Try the twin trunk. So let's turn it around. I know that the conventional wisdom for twin trunks is that the twin starts from much lower down. So this twin starts from quite high up, almost a third of the way up the tree, or even more than a third of the way up the tree. So let's do that, just for the heck of it. Let's do that. So I think to bend those two trunks, we'll need a bit of
big wire.
Thick wire, but also I suggest you do a bit of trunk splitting. That means this one, split it like that down the middle.
Yeah.
And this one, take it down the middle. Use the stainless steel trunk splitter and split it, and then we will make it easier to bend. Yeah, like that. Maybe start about a couple of inches lower and then go up to about there.
Okay, and I just go through the bark.
Yeah, you go through the bark and let the two blades meet,
Oh, okay.
the incisors meet. That's the whole object. That's why the trunk splitter is a very thin bladed tool. Can we just see the tool? You see how thin the blades are?
Yeah, that was quite easy.
Yeah, all right. Make it absolutely straight. Keep it vertical, line going vertical. So it has to be a continuous line. Don't do it here and there. The line should be continuous all the way. It's like a single line all the way to the top.
Yeah.
The same with the other side as well. So I won't waste video time on that, but this is what Tyler's now doing all the way up. Dead in the middle, huh? It must be dead in the middle. Otherwise, if one is thick and one is thin, it doesn't work so well. It can break the trunk. So we have now split the trunk on both the trunks. There are two trunks here, so you can see how we split it. You see that line? We've gone all the way down there, up to there, and on this one too, you can see how we split the trunk there. So we split a thick trunk into two thinner bits. You can see how it's moving there. You see how it's moving. Some people wrap raffia around it just to protect it, but I don't think there's any real need to. I'm not too bothered about that. So I think there are one or two branches that are not useful. Like this one, I think we can get rid of, make the wiring a bit easier. Get rid of this upward going there. And maybe this inward growing one.
Both of those.
Yeah.
Well, that one and that one.
Okay. Get it a bit closer, then make the wiring cleaner. Okay, now we're going to use, this is 4.5 mil wire, really thick stuff. Make sure you have enough to go to each end. See, we use as much as possible. You see more on this side. See, measure, estimate, more this side, yeah. Yeah, okay then. And the base there. Get an anchor, do a couple of loops on one side to anchor, and then wire the other side. Never try to wire the entire side before you've anchored. Like those little bits we could have taken off. Let's be careful. Watch the 45-degree angle. Wait. Yeah, more of an angle like that, not straight. Okay, that keep the 45 degree really tight, really tight. Okay, okay, now you've anchored it, now go on to the other one. Where you feel that there's some inward growing branches which might not be used, you can take it off, but only if you are absolutely sure. Okay. The wire should be really tight. I always emphasize tightness is the key. If it's loose, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Pull it as you go along. I always remind people you shouldn't see daylight between the wire and the bark. It should be that tight. You should feel it tight, because once you try and bend it, it will move around, and you don't want that. It'll then grate the bark, strip the bark. Sometimes the turntable is not an asset. Not everyone likes a turntable. You find that it's steadier without the turntable. Just feel free not to use it. Okay, the top, leave it. Yeah, wait a minute. Let's go there. Remember your 45-degree angle. Go to the top. Yeah, that's it. Good. That's right. use the gin blast to terminate.
Very sappy fingers.
Okay. Don't cut anything off, just leave it there in case we do something. Okay.
Cool.
Now try and give a sinuous bend. Let's see how you get it. Maybe you may not need the turntable if you find it steadier without. Really supported with the palms of both hands, so you can feel it cracking. If should it crack and break, you'll feel it. See, that wire is strong enough. I think it's bending it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now try and do the other side. Very good. Very nice. You're still trying to do like a coiling action, stirring the pot action. Yeah. Nice. Turn it around. Let's have a look.
I think so. Something like that.
Try and reflect. Whenever you have a twin trunk situation,
You want it to go
reflects the same direction.
Mm.
If you hold the camera, I will try and show you what I mean. So if it's going that way, I'm trying to make the trunk follow that line as far as possible and then come back on itself in that way. I think without trunk splitting, we wouldn't have been able to bend it much at all. Well, at least this way, getting some bend. Oops, I can hear it creaking. So I'm trying to take it out again, following the same, oopsie. Oh, I think I may have split it there. Okay, no harm. Okay, we don't like to hide any mistakes, huh? At least I broke it, not you. See over here, you see that break there?
Yeah.
That, I know the tree will survive, but it might not survive. But all is not lost. I'm glad we left this one.
Yeah, that's
And in
perfect.
fact, is a perfect one, because usually a twin trunk, we have one thick branch or one tall trunk and one short trunk. So now most of you will know the expression, even monkeys fall out of trees. So that was one case where I think the trunk splitting has its advantages, but it does make the trunk a bit brittle. And not all conifers have the same flexibility. I remember telling you the story about this San Jose juniper. San Jose juniper is a very, very rigid juniper, not as flexible as, say, the Chinese juniper. So, going to get rid of that. But we will now take it up this thinner trunk, and then we will probably get a more sympathetic curve. And because it's thinner and this was so thick, I'm not going to tie it so tight. Don't wrap it too tight. So this is acceptable. If it was very thick trunk, I would have wrapped it tight. After all, hopefully within a year, we will be able to take the wire off, and then we will get the shape set. There you go. So tall and thin, like that. Let's see which side is better. See, we got to decide which side is better. Would you say this side is better? That thing can be used.
Yeah,
I want to
You
keep
wouldn't
some,
use
otherwise,
it otherwise.
otherwise there's no, what you call it, backdrop.
Branch, yeah.
So this, if we use this, I don't think we need this.
No.
Let's see if we can use this side. Let's use the turntable. Would you say this side?
I think so, unless we got rid of this big branch.
We can reduce it a bit, but I'd need a big branch to give some
Yeah, depth.
depth. You know, you don't have depth, it will look very sparse.
Yeah.
Okay, that one we probably can take off. I'm not going to take many of these off. They're either sacrificials or we could utilize it in the design. So it's looking quite nice. I think if we wire these two to give depth, if we don't like it, we can always remove it. And then we decide which of these branches we keep. Because there's quite a lot of choice. You need to create space between this. So I leave you to decide and proceed. So,
Okay. So should I chop or should I get these wired first?
wire that first.
Yeah.
Wire that first. Maybe use like 3mm wire, bring the thicker ones.
Might need a bit thicker.
Maybe this.
Okay.
Just solve that. Maybe that one. Use that one. Use that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Use that one. Yeah. Wire it flat and then we see what happens. Huh? So as I say, don't be worried with the mistakes, because sometimes the mistakes gives you a better solution. Really tight. Okay. I think it's better to go around the trunk once. Gives more
Go round.
stability. Yeah.
We can try. I might not have enough wire
No,
then.
it should be okay. Go around the trunk once. And then come back on itself. Yeah, so you see how much more stable it is. Huh?
Yeah.
Really tight and close where it comes. Yeah, like that. Yeah, then go on to the next one. Yeah, go as far as you can. That should be okay. Don't worry.
Oh, this one smells.
Yeah, we can deal with the pads afterwards. Remember, use the gin pliers. So different from the usual junipers or the white pine or black pine. It's lovely. At this stage, one needs to start thinking of the pads, how to form the pads. The ones which can be used, we will use to flatten it. Those obvious downward hanging ones, you can eliminate. You'll find scissors or secateurs more useful than that. A lot of people use branch cutters, but you'll find that certain tools are more suitable for certain jobs. You see, do you not agree? You see,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
much easier than the branch cutter.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so now these also you don't need too close.
Cool.
So always go back to the front and see what it looks like from the front, and then decide what you do. And yeah, now you got to ask that one you just touched. Do you need it or not?
I don't think so.
No, take it off.
It's a bit
That's
small.
it. Absolutely. Okay. Now you see the pad is beginning to form. And
Yeah.
then we can start shortening them and then wire them flat.
Yeah.
And make the pad. Yeah. Herringbone, narrow shape, pointing a triangle. Don't cut too much. We use the whole length. Okay. You can always do zigzag.
Yeah, yeah. Should I wire these or should I keep
wire
moving
those.
up?
Make the pad. Then you wire a little bit, and you can see the shape emerging. So we're just wiring the pads. We'll give it a break. So we're going to wire some of these pads and then show you some more. Okay, coming along. So here we are. This is what Tyler has wired. So this is what we've done so far. And there are one or two things that, because we're not trying to make a completely exhibition bonsai, this is only in training and will be developed over the next year. There are one or two things we're going to leave on, even though it may look a bit untidy. That top bit, I never cut off excess wire. That can be tidied up, but no matter, we know which direction the branch is going. And this wire is a bit thick, and it wasn't giving a very nice bend, but the bend is quite reasonable. So rather than put a tight wire to strangle it, I've kept an open coil. We were going to cut that wire off to put a new one, but because the curve is quite nice, I'm not too bothered. What bothers us now is that there are a lot of extra branches which we could take off. Now these bottom ones are the obvious ones, because to have a complete tree we need to take those off. But if you want to thicken the trunk, you can also leave that on as sacrificials. So this is what sacrificials are meant to do. So I don't know whether we want to leave it on, I don't know. We'll probably cut it off. I'm sure this tree will sell. Whenever we make these trees, they literally sell within the next couple of weeks. People are so keen to have the things we work on, so they don't stay on the nursery for long. So that's complete. Then again, we need to keep looking at the tree to see what else can be taken off. I think that is not needed, I think. So we take that off. Anything pointing down, we take off, or you can wire them flat. Sometimes you think that there could be too many branches, so that we can also take off. Now this one is also something that could be taken off. What do you think, isn't it?
Yeah, coming straight to you, isn't it?
Yes, so it comes straight out, so we take it off. So I think I need to anchor it to something, so I will unwire it. And then I will link that, because this wire is holding another branch. If I remove that, the other branch will start flopping around. So we take that off so that the front is more open. This is just to anchor the wire. So if anything, there are still too many branches, but I rather leave them on in case we change our mind. Even these, one could say that there are far too many. So the more you look, the more you can find that we can take off. But as I say, apart from that, the rest of the tree is looking good.
Might need a bit more wire on that, mightn't I?
Yeah, we could wire that. But apart from that, you see, we were arguing whether this twin trunk would work, but the twin trunk starting from there makes it look a more natural tree. In nature, you do find trees like that, which branch or have a split trunk further up the trunk. Don't always have to start from there. So we're breaking the mold, as it were. You don't always have to have these stylized images. So with a bit of work, we've achieved this. And we couldn't decide at first whether to make a single trunk tree. We could have just made a single trunk tree like that.
Looks great from that angle anyway.
Yeah, this looks nice like this. Your single trunk tree, stately parkland tree. Or we decided to go for the twin trunk.
Yeah.
A bit of a technical point. Because we split the trunk and we didn't tape it, I'm going to put some sealant on it. So I will get some sealant and put on it. Many people ask me what sealant we use. We use a thing called lac balsam, but you can also use Japanese sealant, and you can use sealant which is unconventional. So many types of sealant you can use. In the early days of doing bonsai, we used to just use Vaseline, and that worked as well. It's just to stop transpiration, nothing more. So I'm trying to seal the cuts that I did so that it doesn't lose too much moisture. But the advantage of using conifers for trunk splitting is that the conifers give out a sap or resin, especially the pines, not so much the junipers, but the pines give out a resin. Pines and spruces, they have a resin, and the resin acts as a sealant. So that should be fine. So whenever we work with conifers, whatever cuts we make, we don't often bother to seal what we've done because the resin is self-healing, as it were. So there you are, a tree that we will probably next year put into either a oval pot or a round pot. Even a drum pot would look nice. And that's what we've achieved. So this is largely Tyler's work. So well done, Tyler. And I hope viewers have enjoyed seeing how we work on that. The next tree I will work on will be this one. So this is yet another one, which is another type of ABs, meaning it's not the spruce. The ABs are what we call fir trees. And this would probably end up as an informal upright, like so. You see, it doesn't require a lot of rocket science to give you that shape. So that will probably only take a couple of minutes, won't be long. So we'll leave this for another time. There you go.